So I'm 41, so it's been like 36 years since I've been in school here. Well, now 30 years. What's so weird is that I remember the lunchroom is right down there. My favorite day was like in the fall when you would have tomato soup and peanut butter sandwiches, because you would walk in and everybody would have their tomato soup already on the tables. And I remember I sat down and we had like the homogenized milk, and the boys that day pointed to the homogenized milk and they said, "That's you." And I didn't even understand what they were talking about. I don't know that I still do, actually. But anyway, they said, "You're a homo, you're a homo." And from that day in first grade, I swear my life changed forever. I became like the ridicule, you know, the school. And I don't think it really ever stopped until I graduated. I don't think it stopped still to this day. I was in a gas station the other day and I asked somebody, I mean, I'm 41 years old, and I asked the gas station guy for something, a pack of cigarettes, or I don't even know. And this guy behind me started laughing at me and said, "F it," under his breath. It's so strange. People know your reality more than you do.
We never saw that coming. We had no idea our children were gay. You know, I personally went through a struggle with this. I went through all the typical questions that are being asked, that parents ask themselves. You know, did I do something wrong to cause this? I was worried about my son. I was thinking about grandchildren. Well, part of the problem for my son Tim being gay was that he's actually a very traditional guy. Faith was always very important to him, even from when he was little. When I was studying for the ministry, I remember he would set up little animals, you know, as though they were in church, and he preached to them.
You know, I was hearing a lot of messages from the church in particular, that homosexuality was, you know, not compatible with what the Bible taught, and I would actually just at night pray to God, you know, make me normal. You know, if this is a phase that I'm going through, just take it away. You know, I wanted it to end. And I would literally, you know, many nights cry myself to sleep because it was something I was so upset over. You know, and eventually I did come to the realization that this is just who I was, this is who I was born to be.
I think the truth is hard to suppress. And the truth is that homosexual relationships do carry with them risks of health problems, mental and physical health problems, and these other social pathologies. The truth is people are not born gay. The truth is that homosexuals, the sexual orientation can change, and I have faith that the truth cannot be suppressed forever.
This mom's moving all far away because she's afraid of us. I was just thinking that it's so funny that parents are always so afraid of strangers, when the people that I needed to really be afraid of were like the other kids in my class and teachers that never protected me in schools like this.
Hey, hey, ho, ho, Putin's got to go.
Well, President Putin and Russia have come under a lot of criticism for a law that prohibits the advocacy of homosexuality, or I guess the homosexual lifestyle. And we join the critics of the law, but we observe that there are a number of laws in the United States that can be criticized along exactly the same lines. Not at the national level, but many of our states or provinces have laws that prohibit the advocacy or positive depiction of homosexuality in the educational system for young people. States like Utah, which hosted the 2002 Winter Olympics, have statutes that prohibit, very similarly to the Russian statute, the advocacy of homosexuality. Other states in the United States, such as Arizona, Texas, and Alabama, likewise prohibit that kind of advocacy, but go even further than the Russian law does or the Utah law does. And for example, the Arizona law instructs school teachers in the public school system to demonstrate to students that there is no safe mechanism or safe way to have quote-unquote homosexual sex, which is simply untrue. Well, Alabama and Texas instruct school teachers to tell pupils, young people, that homosexuality is not an acceptable lifestyle, and also instructs them to say that homosexual sex in private is a crime in those states, which is not true. Since 2003, the U.S. Supreme Court has said states cannot make consensual private homosexual activities between two adults a crime.
Growing up in Texas, I think that it was definitely hard being gay. I knew probably when I was about 5 that I had the feelings and knew that I was interested in guys, but I didn't know what exactly it was. And as I went through high school and stuff, I started to realize more that I just wasn't the same as anyone else. And so I kind of was in the closet all during my high school years and through the college years, just because I didn't know what to expect. I didn't want kind of the stigma of, oh, there's gay John. And I feel like in the South, that's kind of what happens with the GLBT community, is they get that label on them. And in Massachusetts, when I came up here and started telling my friends and stuff that I was gay, they said, okay, what's your point? Like, you're still John to us. So I think that being in Massachusetts, you're able to be a little bit more free with who you are. You're able to walk down the streets with the person that you love and basically being able to hold their hands, where even in the big cities in Texas, I feel like you still kind of have to worry as to what may happen with you if someone that isn't okay with your sexuality and okay with what you're doing possibly coming upon you and basically getting gay bashed.
There are now 17 states and the District of Columbia where lesbian and gay people can be civilly married on the same terms as straight people. There are 50 states in our country. 17 out of 50 is still a minority, but it's approaching half of the states in this country. On the other hand, the southern part of the United States and most of the central part of the United States do not recognize same-sex marriage. That includes Indiana, the state in the Midwestern part of this country.
First of all,
change your life.
cheese bread and whatever else.
First of all, you're not gonna say hi to me? Hi.
Yeah, where's kisses? Where's mine? Hi.
Peter-
Pepperoni and sausage and cheese sticks. We'll get a large.
I'll eat whatever.
Peter likes Venezuelan sausage,
Yeah, I bet he does.
if you know what I mean.
Oh my God.
In the state of Indiana right now, we have never, gay marriage, same-sex marriage has never been legal. The Republican Party is trying, and the governor behind that, is trying to push through a ban on gay marriage so that when marriage becomes more accepted on a federal level, as it already has in many states, that Indiana will be one of the most difficult states to pass that in. They want to protect the conservatism of Indiana and what they call family values.
Family Research Council believes that marriage should continue to be defined as the union of one man and one woman. There's a lot of confusion about the issue of same-sex marriage. I like to explain that marriage is not simply a civil institution, and marriage is not simply a religious institution. At its heart, marriage is a natural institution rooted in the order of nature itself. It is only because it takes one man and one woman to make a baby, to create a new human being, that there is public interest in the sexual relationships of adults at all. And therefore, relationships of a type that is structurally incapable ever, under any circumstances, of resulting in natural procreation, such as a homosexual relationship, simply do not serve any public interest and therefore should not be treated as marriages.
Well, actually, this one. So I'm obsessed with jewelry, obviously. I'm not a very religious man. So So this is a rosary,
Oh, I got those for you.
but instead of a Jesus, it's handcuffs. So don't be a prisoner of your religion. Right, baby?
Don't be a prisoner of your what?
Don't be a prisoner of your religion.
You know, many people ask me about, what about the Bible? What about those passages in the Bible that talk about, or seem to talk about homosexuality? You know, first of all, I don't believe that these passages that people quote are talking about committed, loving homosexual relationships. You know, they're talking about rape, for instance, in the Genesis passage. It talks about rape clearly. It talks about inappropriate sexual behavior, unnatural sexual behavior, where heterosexual people would engage in homosexual activity, which was unnatural for them. And of course, that's not appropriate. It talks about temple prostitution, where male acolytes would prostitute themselves to have sex with men in the temple context. And of course, all of these things are inappropriate. But the Bible, I don't think, really talks about loving homosexual relationships at all.
Have to tell you that wherever I go, and mostly United Methodist churches, I am so encouraged by the welcome we get but also by the encouragement that we get. People, telling me, we're praying for you, we're behind you. Just a month ago, I was at the Binghamton United Methodist Church in upper state New York, and there was one older lady who came up to the front, and she said, "Reverend Schaefer, I want you to know that I am so angry at my church, the United Methodist Church, for defrocking you. I am actually using that word now as a cuss word." And then she said in front of everybody, "What the frock is going on with my church?"
So by the time my son called me in 2006, right after he got engaged, "Dad, would you do my wedding?" There was no doubt in my mind. And I said, "Absolutely, son. It'll be a joy." And it was only after I had said yes to him that I began to think about what that means for me as a minister of a church who prohibits gay marriage. United Methodist ministers are not allowed to perform same-sex marriages, and United Methodist churches are not allowed to host same-sex weddings. I came to the conclusion, after wrestling with this, that if the church was going to fire me, that's what they had to do, but I was going to do this wedding. This was more important than my job and my career as a minister.
I think we need to teach classes more on sexual acceptance instead of sexual behavior and STDs and stuff like that. That's all scare tactic stuff. I think school impacts you so much. I don't remember ever thinking about killing myself because of being bullied. I just don't. It was part of my life. It gave me pretty thick skin. It also made me sensitive, I think, to people that had it worse than I did. If being bullied for being gay is the worst that it gets for me in my life, there's people that have it 10 times worse.
I don't remember exactly what the statistics are. I know that suicide is something like every 20 seconds somebody attempts suicide, and I think it's something like every 40 seconds somebody completes suicide in our country. And I think with like LGBTQ teenagers, the rate is like 50% more. Ones that don't have a support network, it's like 75% more. I feel blessed that I made it to 41 without ever feeling like I needed to go there.
Suicide, it's a sad subject, and I'm laughing because I'm clichéing it, it's really tough or whatever. I think that
He laughs when he cries.
I think that it's really sad. I think it's really sad that people just can't handle it anymore. You know, like we go through like our everyday life, and I think that we're pretty lucky to have a pretty supportive group of friends and families, and although how like whatever it is around here, you know, like we're supported in one way or another. You know, like I have a great family, I have a great husband, dogs, blah, whatever, but I cannot imagine feeling so low and alone and powerless and emotionless that like that's it, and that's the only option. You know, and I think that it's just really sad that people feel that way.
For me, especially having gone through that severe depression and contemplating suicide, the support of my family was incredibly important. That really helped me get through a lot of that, a lot of those feelings. And overall, it's really important. My family's very close, and I can talk to them about anything. You know, I can call up one of my siblings or my parents if I have a big decision that needs to be made, or if I'm feeling down, and it's my support structure. So that's incredibly important, and I think that has the decision that my dad made was very difficult, and he went really and took it to an extreme, really risking not just his job but his career, his livelihood, doing what he did, and that has made our family a lot stronger.
Wow, look at this. It's so bad.
Whew. So I said to the jury, I want you to know, if I am going to be a United Methodist minister tomorrow, that I will continue to do ministry with all of God's children, none excluded. With all of God's children. And I also want you to know that I can no longer be a silent supporter, but I will be an advocate, speaking with and for our LGBT members and brothers and sisters in the church. And I want you to know that I think what we're doing in the name of the church with our book of discipline is discriminatory, and it is hate speech. Because so many of our brothers and sisters in the LGBTQ community, including my son Tim, have been harmed and hurt so much. And God is not going to stand for that.
It's kind of like, why me, not them? You know.
And this one's the three of us.
I am a very spiritual person, and I believe in our country, one of the foundation beliefs in our country is a right to whatever your belief is in a higher power or lack thereof. Okay? So I'm not going to take someone's belief away. So if they're a Southern Baptist or they're an evangelical Pentecostal and they believe that we're going to hell because we're being gay, I think they have every right in the world to believe that.
Yeah.
Just like I have every right in the world to believe that I'm not going to hell.
God. Thank you, Father, for this food and for this day and for the opportunity to express ourselves and
So let's respect each other's differences in beliefs while allowing humans to have the same rights. It's not a religious issue, you know? It's
But
like
they're making it a
atheists,
religious issue.
but atheists that are straight can get married. Atheists that are straight can get married in our country. It is not a religious issue. It is only a religious issue when it becomes two gay men or two lesbians that want to get married.
I went probably about 10 years after I left for college, not going to church. And when I was looking to go back to church, it was really something, that sense of community that I missed. We started to research and look for a church that was going to accept us. And so there is a movement within the United Methodist Church called the Reconciling Movement, and that's a group of churches really across the whole country that accept gay people, believe that gay marriage should be something that should be offered by the church. They accept gay pastors, even though these are contrary to the United Methodist Church's teachings and doctrines. And so I went to a church that really welcomes us and has other gay couples. In fact, the pastor there himself is gay and is on track to being ordained as an openly gay pastor. So that, we feel welcome there and we feel at home there. So that's a very secure feeling, and we're happy to have found that church.
So let's say a peaceful prayer together. Let's pray. Dear God, help us to be peaceful and still during Lent. Pray in the name of Jesus. Amen. Amen. Love you guys. Jesus loves me. Let's sing his feet. Jesus loves me. Jesus got in trouble for being friends and friendly with people who were discriminated against and who were judged by others, including institutional religion. Sinners, tax collectors, prostitutes, lepers. These are people who Jesus called friends, and he was killed for it.
His head's a lot bigger than Samantha's.
Yeah, very different.
His same type of, got the same
The worst things that people have ever said to me have been things that have been said by Christians, by people who are speaking in the name of Jesus Christ, who use words like satanic or possessed or evil or doomed for destruction, the most horrible things that can be said. That's part of my experience in my life also, extremes of acceptance and of judgment, and then also a whole lot in the middle.
So, how are you feeling right now?
A little nervous. Had a little kind of a stressful day, but I think it'll happen for a reason, so I'm feeling better now.
So, what do you love the most about Alex?
I love that he challenges me. I love that he's willing to put up with a lot of my BS, which I think is important in a relationship.
I mean, I think we can include the audio.
I mean, I'm not investing all this time on doing something that, quite frankly, it's gonna take forever to transcribe. I mean, I'm the only one doing it, and you're barely posting them right away.
Okay, I think we definitely transcribe ATB since it's only 5 minutes.
Okay.
You mean now because you're a husband?
We were married 2 years ago. It was kind of a conscious decision for us. We knew that Indiana becoming a state that with legalized gay marriage was not going to happen anytime soon. We weren't willing to wait. We felt like us getting married was a conscious decision of love, and that we wanted to show that commitment in front of our friends and our family. So we were not willing to wait. So basically we did what any other couple would do, and we decided where we wanted to get married, which was Las Vegas. It also is not a state that recognizes legal gay marriage.
Yes.
We have no more rights now because we got married than we did 2 years ago. I mean, we cannot have gym memberships together. We can't go and be, next to kin in the hospital. And there are exceptions to every rule, but majority-wise, we can't. We can't file taxes together. We can't share the same legal last name unless we petition to do that in court. We own a business together, which is very difficult. We have to do loopholes through that. Traveling together, we don't travel as family together. We aren't each other's next of kin. There are so many different ways. We can't get each other Social Security if one of us should die, and be beneficiaries of life insurance. All these things we can list ourselves as those, but if we would die or if we would become ill, our families could step in and take those privileges away from us.
There are polls that show that when people are simply asked a straightforward question about sexual behavior, do you believe that a man having sex with a man or a woman having sex with a woman is morally right or morally wrong? Most Americans still believe that it's morally wrong. No one likes to be attacked verbally or accused of being hateful or bigoted. the effect is that people with conservative views, while they may not change their mind, they become silent. They are afraid to speak out.
Is that the thing you built?
Yes.
That is pretty cool, you know.
It's one wheel, Dad. It's 2 tires. Look, 2 of these tires are on 1 wheel. Do you know what now?
Oh, that's right. That's what you mean.
Yes.
I guess God really wanted me to get that message because 3 of my children turned out gay. So my daughter Debbie, she's lesbian. My son Tim, of course, he's gay, and my son Kevin is gay as well.
Now, group hug. Yeah. Yay! Aww.
Hate for hate only intensifies the hate that is in this world. The cycle of hate never stops, and there are so many examples in this world that we could name right now where the cycle of violence and hate never stops. It goes from generation to generation. Somebody must step up and stop the cycle of violence, and it can only be done with love.